Welcome to Nostalgia Types Podcast. We break down hip-hop albums and video games from the same year. I'm your host, KD, with Dopest. This is our Weekday Wonder portion of the episode. Today we're breaking down Dave Chappelle's Unforgiven. The little, what was it, 18 minutes? Yeah, like 18 minutes.
Little stand-up clip.
Little, wasn't he? It's not stand-up. Ooh, watch your mouth. He's hating on that.
Where was it?
What?
Wait, like where was it? What was the setting?
No, well, I guess it was a stand-up, but like
stand-up.
people were saying it's not stand-up, man. Did you laugh?
It was stand-up. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
I laughed.
So, and then we're talk about Fortnite subscription that just dropped, and a little bit of Nintendo talk. I don't know what. A little bit of surprise from Dylan's part, just throwing it on me. And then Spotify's year-end wrap-ups and how brilliant they are. We'll throw Apple in there too, but they kind of bit them. Like and subscribe to the video. If you are not watching on YouTube, go watch. If you're listening on DSPs, thank you for doing so, and share it with your friends. And we appreciate it. Let's get into the episode. All right, so we'll get into Dave's shit first.
Yeah. Cool.
So, did you just find out about it?
Yeah, so like I saw the clip that was obviously viral, just the segment of it, of the stand-up, like where he specifically says don't watch it.
Oh, so closer to the end. Yeah.
Closer to the end, but like I think I saw maybe 3 minutes of it, like that 3-minute portion
so it was
of
like
it.
right in the, yeah, it was smack dab.
So prior to that, I didn't even know. Like I figured it was from stand-up, just like he always does. Yeah, just some type of clip.
Somewhere in Ohio.
I didn't know that there was a longer version of it till today, like noon. And that's when I
so
watched
you
it.
been saw the clip.
The clip.
Oh, okay. I thought you just saw the clip today.
No, just saw. I
tough.
saw the clip, but just saw the whole thing today.
So when you saw it originally, did you grasp like the whole context of everything? Like what because I'm trying to make sure. I want to see kind of where your thoughts were in the like first initial reaction. That 3 minutes.
Well, originally, maybe the night before or the 2 nights before, I saw a Chappelle show on Netflix and watched like the first 5 episodes. And I was like gonna geek to watch it that night. So
good.
But then when I watched that clip, automatically it was kind of like I related it to some music industry shit, like artists and bad deals.
Yeah.
So I understood where he was coming from. Like, legally, is it wrong? No. Business wise, no. But like, is it right? Nah. So I was feeling him, and I was excited to come have this conversation, especially after I watched the longer version of this, because you like take that side when we have this conversation. You know, like you take that side of the business. Not saying you like rep them. You're like, yeah, gotta get the bottom line. But like
I always bring it up. Like, right. I'm always like, hey, they don't have to do any of this.
Right.
Like, I feel the same way here. Like, Netflix didn't have to. If Netflix just kept it up and said like, sorry, Dave, we got people pushing. We have an agreement with someone else. Like, sorry, I would have understood it. Like, I'd have been like, that makes sense. Now, Netflix should be given a little bit of props. Like, you made good with Dave because Dave came to you and said, I feel bad. It's basically what he said. He's like, I feel bad seeing my stand-up next to a show that I'm not making any money off of. They stole it from me. Where I think we got to make sure we understand, too, let's say Dave wasn't doing business with Netflix in the future, because they're going to have stand-ups together. They're going to have a bunch. Netflix isn't making this move. You know what I mean? Like, Netflix is doing this because they see their relationship with Dave more important than getting a couple bucks from the Dave Chappelle show. You know what I mean? And that's important. Yeah. Because when you take that stance, that's progress. You know what I mean? But we also can't just say they're doing this out of the goodness of their heart.
Oh, definitely not.
Because there's plenty of people with their shows on there that aren't making any money off it, and their likeness is still being used. Now, granted, it's kind of the LeBron factor. If LeBron goes to Lakers and says, can we make these moves? They're like, of course. You're LeBron. We go as you go for a certain extent. You know what I mean? Obviously not the business itself, but our success. With Chappelle, he is comedy on Netflix. Like, he has, 5 stand-ups with them? 4 stand-ups with them? And going to be doing more? Like, he's never going to drop a stand-up on HBO. The only place he would drop it on is YouTube at that point. So he's going to continue to do that. I think it is a good stepping stone. It's unfortunate they have to be Dave Chappelle to get that, where, to your point, it should be an artist that maybe gets that leeway.
Yeah, because we've never seen anything like this in the music industry.
At least not publicly. Dave did say, I'm breaking the cardinal rule of actually doing this, and I'm coming to you guys.
True.
Now, that was a little bit of a chess play, obviously. Like, hey, I got people not even watching your shit.
Because after that, it worked.
However, I'm sure Drake does get some special treatment. He might have signed a bad deal and got out of it because, hey, we're making so much money with Drake. Like, you know what I mean? He just hasn't come out and said it. Because that's been Drake. We all know that's Drake's battle, is the behind-the-scenes shit.
Mm-hmm. Just like everyone's.
Yeah. Want to make
but
sure.
This is like an album getting pulled off of DSPs.
Yeah.
Like, it was all on Netflix.
This is like Jay-Z coming and saying, yo, I'm not getting shit for Blueprint. Take that shit down. And Spotify saying, okay.
Right. And Apple leaving it up.
But you know what, though? It's a bunch of different things. It's like burning bridges. Because the most important part of it, I think, was when he came to the point about HBO. There's a bunch of good metaphors, but I think the most important one was when they said not only no to the pilot, which he said would have been fine, that's normal practice. And then when they also said, why do we need you?
Mm-hmm.
Now, that's arrogance. That's demeaning towards somebody. And he alludes to it. He says, I'm not telling you that Comedy Central gave me a bad deal or HBO didn't work me because I'm black. But, you know, why do we need you? Okay, cool. Yeah, go say that to Bill Burr. Go say that, you know what I mean? They wouldn't. They would just say, no, we don't really want this. Let's keep pushing. You know what I mean? So I think the most important part is when then he goes on to it and says to HBO now that wants to start putting it out in Comedy Central, like, why do I need you? I'm going to get that shit taken down whether you like it or not. Like, I'm going to figure out a way. And you know what, though? He has that pull. And I think it's going to be... I hope it's not a bad message to other artists to be like, oh, all I got to do is just come out and say blah, 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 and I get a bad deal.
Back. Right.
You got to be the greatest at your position.
That's what I thought about, too, when watching it, was like, only Dave could get this special treatment.
Only.
Dave's level of success, like, in each field, you know? Like, that level of artistry.
And that's why I said Drake earlier. Like, I'm sure Drake gets this special treatment because they say, as long as we keep Drake happy, we'll continue to make money.
I'm more money in the future.
Right. If a dude like, no shade, PNB Rock comes and said, yo, can we redo my deal? He's like, no, there's another 40 of you ready to get into another bad deal. We're just going to keep on doing it. And again, it's very predatorial what they do. You know, they find talented people that need the money and they're willing to take that upfront short or the long-term short for the upfront improvement of life. Because like he said, he's like, you know, I agreed to it when I had kids and I didn't know how I was going to pay my bills. You know, obviously with the money he has now, the leverage he's garnered, he's never going to sign another bad deal again. Hopefully, because, you know, he's pretty smart. You would have to assume he's always going to make a deal that furthers him. But, you know, it's just so nasty how predatorial shit is. But that's in any business, though.
That's business, yeah.
Literally, you'll see stockbrokers being predatory on people with low amount of money. That's all Wolf of Wall Street was. It was prying on people that want to make a quick buck. And they would take their money, flip it, and then, you know, it's in everything. You just gotta. It's so personal because we consume their art. I'm not saying it's not art, but I'm, you know, quoting everyone's art. And so we have a connection with these people. So when we see them in a bad deal, like we're like, oh my god. Same thing with athletes.
It's crazy, right? How like normally we get this, because we have seen this before, the cry out for help almost, but not to where like it turns things into actions like this happen. But it's crazy how Dave did it to me. Like, instead of just straight out saying the situation, it took 19 almost 20 minutes of
metaphors and stories
to get to that point. Like, and that's what really drove it home.
But he painted the perfect picture. the card playing metaphor,
Crazy,
the stealing the joke metaphor.
Oh my God!
And then it all making sense. That's what Dave is so good at, and I think Dave could make. I don't want to say make a living. Dave could pave his own way now, where kind of like George Carlin. I don't know if you're so familiar with his stand-up. He's super. I think he's the only person I've ever compared to Dave and how smart they are and what their comedy level is. Where it's not so much punchlines and, oh my God, I'm going to crack up laughing, but like it's comedical because it's him. So you already have that type, but he tells stories like this.
Mm-hmm.
And it's informational and it's educational. Like it sucks, but the 846 one
Mm-hmm.
where he's talking about, I mean, like there was some things that were like a giggle, but you can deliver information and messages so much easier when you make someone laugh and you open them up. Because that's all, like when you laugh, man, like that forms a connection with someone that you're so much more willing to receive information with. Like if your professor got up there and cracked jokes for 5 minutes before class, you're at least more attentive.
receptive.
Yeah, at least you're more attentive. Now it's a little bit different because you expect that from a person. I think we're gonna get more into that where we expect Dave to not be as stand up, more preachy with jokes. But I think he's so brilliant that we're cool with it.
And that he's funny in doing it. That's why when you asked, like, did you laugh? I was like, yeah. Because, like,
I did
he
laugh
was
too.
funny.
I laughed too because even when the shit wasn't so funny, like, it was like...
Like, when he was telling the stories, like that. And, like, let's say you didn't see that clip before and you just watched that 18-minute video, like, you wouldn't know what he was alluding to in these stories. So, he's almost, like, painting the picture, then telling you what it is.
Yeah.
Like, showing it to you, then saying the title, like...
It's kind of cool. To your point, it's like those artists that do the upside down paintings
And then
flip that shit over, and then it's
crazy.
It's literally like here, and you're like, "Whoa, that makes."
Because bro,
all
he's
the
saying
sense.
it all, and then he said the line that like the ending line that like was the callback to this joke stealing, and I was like, oh my God, he dropped the mic. I was
I'm gonna
like,
give them their first street lesson.
I was like, hey yo,
Yeah, no, he's really brilliant.
yeah, it was
He's
crazy,
really brilliant. I don't think now. Obviously, I haven't seen all the greats, and I know like the Richard Pryors, the Eddie Murphys, the Chris Rocks, Bill Burrs, but like he just has a different element. Like it's not like when we talk about Black Thought, and I'm like, he just has a different element. Not to say it's better or worse, anything, but like he has that kind of it thing where it's just different than everybody else. Like when you hear Dave's special, I rewatched Sticks and Stones after watching the 18-minute thing. I was just in a kind of, you consume one thing a Dave, it's like I'm ready to go listen to everything else. And that's one of my favorite ones because it wasn't as funny as the other ones, but what he was saying was so crazy good and important.
Is that the one where he's in the jumpsuit?
The green jumpsuit.
Yeah.
And he tells the joke. He's like, duh, I'm going to cancel you for anything bad you've done. Who's that? That's you. And it's not so, it is funny, but it's like, it's not.
It's funny, but you see that he meant that shit too.
Right.
Like he was saying it for real.
And then, but everything he was doing, he was really important during that 2016 to now time where comedy was kind of like, what do we do?
Yeah.
Schultz was more of an underground person, but to the mainstream, like Chappelle was like a big thing. It was like, oh, you can still do these jokes because Chappelle's doing it. And I think comedy's like almost reverse in that, where Jay gets that leeway of you can drop a project every 7 years and redo these things. You can not have your shit mixed properly. You cannot, and that's cool because you're Jay. I feel like with comedy, it's almost like Dave does it, so it's okay. If Dave would have came out there and did all PC shit, it's like, what are we doing not doing PC shit at this point? We gotta toe the line. But Dave was so overly out there. He's like, yo, I'm gonna drop the F-bomb. I'm gonna drop the N-bomb. On Saturday Night Live, he drops the N-bomb like 3 or 4 times. It's like, tell me I can't.
Right.
I'm doing
right.
And he's at that point where it's such like a fuck you. Because I'm me. Dude walked away from $50 million and boogied on him. Do you think he cares about Saturday Night Live?
Right. And what they tell him not to say before he goes out there.
Fuck out of here, bro. I'm me. You brought me here. Like, no offense. If you want to do that, bring Kevin on. Like, that will be the guy that will do your straight up comedy. And that's a lane that needs to be attention to, because there are people that aren't willing to listen to the Chappelle shit. I don't know who those people are, but I know they are. They're out there. Obviously not our comedy. I'm turned off by the Kevin Hart comedy. To be honest,
Did you watch it?
I tried to listen. I listened to about 20 minutes of it. There wasn't any value of it to me.
Didn't hit.
And you know what?
I was actually in my comedy bag this week.
I'm a big Kevin Hart fan. Like,
me too.
I loved Kevin Hart.
Bro, seriously funny.
Laugh at My Pain
are
two of my favorite
classics.
Like, when we were growing up, I don't want to put him on that level, but like he was our Eddie Murphy.
That was
for
a moment.
Little bit.
Yeah, no, that was a moment.
Everyone was saying his catchphrases.
Yeah,
stop that. Like, stop that. That's gay. Like, that was like a thing. Like,
the you chest. Stupid bitch, little stupid ass.
Yeah, say it with your chest.
2 + 2, not knowing what the fuck it is.
But you know what though? Like, he's made a conscious decision that that's the audience I'm going to placate to, and it works. Like, you can't tell me it doesn't work. It's just, it's the same thing of going pop. It's like, okay, you're going pop, and that's going to work, but you're also going to alleviate yourself away from the top MCs of your time.
Do you think that Kevin? Well, you didn't watch like the whole thing,
No,
but did you get the vibe that it was more like a Dave type bag of storytelling, or were the jokes like not hitting?
Oh, you're saying maybe he was just trying to tell jokes and be funny in the process.
Yeah. But
see, here's the problem though, Dave.
Like, for me, just specifically this Kevin Hart special, for me, it was kind of like a catch up in his life. Like,
okay.
Like when he went on Rogan, it wasn't funny, but he was funny in it. But it was almost like a look into his business brain.
I love that. That's one of my favorite Rogan.
That's kind of like what
ever.
This was for me, like with his family.
Okay.
Which I feel like we've gotten a lot of, which is why I understand why people didn't like it. But that's kind of what it felt like to me. Kind of like a little doc, but like performed.
I don't need that in a stand-up, though.
Yeah.
And how it was marketed is completely opposite of that.
Like, it was a stand-up.
It was a stand-up. I don't give a fuck.
A special, yeah.
Like, isn't that the name of it? No Fucks Given or something?
No Fucks Given.
That tells me, Kev's about to get into his bag. Like, remember that clip he does with Shaquille O'Neal? He goes to Cleveland, and all the Cavaliers in the audience, and he's literally saying, like, some of the raunchiest shit I've ever heard a comedian say.
That's
I'm like,
No Fucks
Given. That's funny as shit.
Yeah.
I thought that was going to be what No Fucks Are Given. Now, that's kind of stupid in my head, because I'm like, well, Kevin is like the fucking black Ryan Seacrest right now. Like, he's the most approachable person in Hollywood. Like, him and The Rock are like two peas in a pod. Like, no one has a bad thing to say about The Rock. No one has a bad thing about, say, Kevin Hart besides, the whole cheating thing. But whatever. Who gives a fuck? I was really excited for it, but then 20 minutes went by. And you know what, though? I went to it late, so I already got some people's opinions on it, so it might have skewed me a little bit. But I don't think so too much, because I didn't even... Like, Kev's one of those people that I even try to love, even if people hate it.
Right.
And I'm like,
You know what it sounded like to me? After an hour of it, maybe 20 minutes of it, sounded like Dave Chappelle's joke. That's you guys. That, like, a lot of it sounded like that pitch.
Right.
Like, it was the no fucks given, but like it was a lot of fucks given. You know what I mean? Like,
right. It was trying to be almost like
I don't care about this.
Right.
But like, it was a lot of care.
Yeah.
So
and that's
that kind of turned me
okay.
off.
Again, though, it's okay. That will placate to some people. Just watch your marketing, though, too. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. Kev's a legend just because where he's taken shit. Like, he's going to allow a bunch of people to do much more shit than ever before with this comedy shit. Like, there's obviously been comedians, Eddie Murphy, Chris Rock, all of them, that have taken their talents to the big screen and then still done stand-up. But, like, he's figured out a way to be like an entrepreneur and a comedian and so he's obviously done it that way. I just don't ever think at this point he'll be considered one of the funniest men ever.
He definitely has classic specials.
110%.
Undeniable.
110%. But also kind of going back
and some
to what
of the
you were
funniest
saying,
people like ever don't have classic specials. Like, they're like goated off their stand-up strength.
Right. Just their consistency type thing. It's not like yeah, but if you're going to be in that top of the tier, you got Eddie Murphy with Raw. It's like, freaking Chris Pryor's, like, first three were all classic. But kind of go back to your point, was it more like a Dave Chappelle thing? The thing with Kevin is that he's already established himself as, this is who I am. Like, Dave already had that cachet, and he worked his way into being that person that is socially conscious and also a comedian. Like, Kevin's made a concerted effort to stay in the middle of everything. Like, I'm going to apologize for what I said about gay people for the Oscars. Now, he made the right stand and said, I'm not going to do it, but he also apologized too. Dave wouldn't have apologized. But he would have said later, then when he sees something wrong with 846, he would have said something. Mm-hmm. Now, I don't know if Kev did or not, but Kev didn't put anything out. Kev didn't have this big old monologue about it or talk about it publicly. Dave, when he's on what's his name thing, he did the late night show. He's a comedian. David Letterman thing. Thank you.
My next guest.
My next guest. Really good. That's a really fun.
Yeah, I love it. The Obama one.
Yeah. Dave Letterman is, wow.
Yeah. Alien.
But like every time you hear him talk, there is nuance to everything, and there is lessons, and there is things that you should. Kev, it's not always that. We see him on the big screen doing a funny movie, Jumanji, and then we see him the next time he's doing a documentary about himself, and then it's he doesn't do too much of the social current. It's never socially cognitive stuff. So when you might try to do the Dave Chappelle of, I'm just gonna get up and talk and have funny moments, it's like, no, dude, we want to make you want us to make you laugh. Like, you need to make us laugh, or we're not gonna be here.
And you think that that's what happened? Like, a lot of people weren't laughing, so they were like, this is trash.
I think it's cool to hate Kevin Hart.
Where, like, someone like Dave, you don't laugh at it, but that's okay.
There's still value.
Right.
I think it's cool to hate on Kevin Hart, too. For some reason.
That's lame.
It is lame. It's super lame. That's why I'm removing myself, and I'm not saying, like, it was trash or nothing. It just wasn't for me. And I wanted to give reverence. Like, he's fucking amazing.
Yeah.
Super good movies, too. Like, every movie I watch from him is funny.
I haven't watched one in a long time.
His
stand-up
box off, though.
It for me.
Box office is up.
You want to hear the funniest stand-up joke that I heard all week? I'm in my stand-up bag this week.
Oh, shit. Give it to me. You got your own 5 minutes?
The funniest one I heard all week was from Larry the Cable Guy.
Low-key, he's funny as fuck.
He's so funny. He just put out a special on Netflix.
He's still doing shit?
He's still got it.
Dude, that's one of the people that that's the only comedian my dad's ever seen is Larry the Cable Guy.
That's so funny.
Well, remember when they had Larry the Cable Guy, Jeff Foxworth,
yeah,
Ron White, like they were all a crew for a little bit? Like he went to go see them.
Oh,
so he got to see crazy. Like 4 of them.
Ron White is like legendary.
Ron White, brilliant.
Yeah,
like,
that's
he's
like that,
up there for
that's
me.
Like that lane. Those 3, yeah, that's like that lane.
I think Ron White kind of goes more into the cognitive, like,
but he's drunk as hell. So like,
but it'd be like your drunk uncle that's smart.
Yeah,
you're like, you're speaking some shit, but you're fucked.
But
up.
You can't drive home.
No. We'll take him to the bar, but we're not getting out. But go ahead. What's the joke?
He comes out, does his thing, and then he says, and he's so good at one-liners. He goes, yeah, I come out here and picture you all naked, not because I'm nervous or anything. And then the crowd's cracking the fuck up. But obviously, like me saying it doesn't do it justice. But
when you're in front of 20,000 people and I'm sure the body language,
so funny.
You know what, though, too, man?
Not because I'm nervous.
Yeah, it's like his whole mantra too. Shit. Like he looks like the typical redneck. He is the typical redneck, but he doesn't always say the typical redneck thing either. You're like, oh. You're kind of like a normal
but
dude.
Like he is kind of, he's so funny. He said my top half likes the cold, but my bottom half likes the heat. And the camera's like panned out. He's big as hell up top.
Yeah, small as hell. He's big as hell. No, man, like, yeah, we've been in our freaking stand-up bag lately.
This year.
I rewatched Jeselnik's shit.
So funny.
Jeselnik is
so funny.
He'd be another dude that if he came to the greater Philadelphia area, I'd go watch. Like he's.
Oh, I'm so glad you just said that. The Philadelphia area. I listened to a legendary piece of stand-up today. I don't know if you've ever heard it. You got to listen to it after this pod. It's Bill Burr's legendary Philly rant.
No.
So he gets like a 15-minute set. This is like 10 years ago. He gets a 15-minute set in Philly. And he goes up there, says a couple jokes, and they're hackling him, get him all. The 12 minutes left in his set, he's going in on them. Like, going in on the crowd.
Personally, or like the Philadelphia area?
Like foul shit. Like Philly, the people in the crowd, like going in. Like, and he's pissed off. Like, ranting. And it's just like a legendary.
Is it funny?
It's funny because, like, it's him. They're not like jokes. He's like straight grinding them. Like shit I couldn't repeat.
Who the fuck are you?
Like, nah.
Dumbass bitch.
Yeah, he was wilding up there.
That's funny shit, man. No, Bill Burr, that is naturally him. Like that mantra of anger.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like controlled anger almost. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like it's so channeled that it's really
That's why you got to go listen to this, because this is like pre-channeling.
Oh, so he's just also
he's got some hair on his head. Like, yeah, you got to go crank this on.
He's such a character, man. He's such a fucking character. You know whose stand-ups that I never really loved is Rogan's.
Yeah, they're
I've
kind of mid.
never like. I listen to him and I'm like, oh, that's cool. But I guess I get so much of him that I'm like, I find him more witty when he's just in conversation more than like a planned joke. And I think that almost takes more skill.
I feel like there's obviously we've only been to one show. But just from listening to all the podcasters in that scene, there's like such a difference between like the stand-ups and like the specials. Like, I know that he's goated at the Comedy Store in LA.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
all of them are killers, but like, I don't necessarily like any of his specials. Joey Diaz, like,
Right.
some legendary comics, and I'm like,
Could be a little different though when you're in a room with a lot of people.
Right.
He gets really his shit off.
And you see him on tour type of shit.
Yeah. But see, do you think he still considers himself a stand-up comedian? Like, I've always had that idea. When you get to that point that only Rogan, Chappelle, Kevin, Eddie, Chris, like, do you think they still consider themselves stand-up comedians? Or, like... Yeah. Because that's not his main form of income anymore either. Neither is Kevin's. Like, Kevin's a businessman and does movies. Obviously, Rogan is...
Yeah, I guess so.
Do you think...
I'd say he... Yeah, definitely, because it's like... It's not like podcasting has always been the main source. I mean, this is me guessing. I'd say it became the main source of income the past 2 years, 3 years.
You think?
You got to think he was doing stadium tours.
Who, Rogan was?
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
Stadium tours. So, and you know, the stadium bags.
Yeah, but he's been on top of the podcasting bag for a fucking...
But that's what I'm saying. Like, he's been doing the stadium bags for...
I think he was doing stadiums for the
I think
podcast?
it was like the...
I don't think so.
I think it was like the togetherness.
Right. Like, they both were escalating.
It's so fried, right? Like, been doing stand-up his whole career of everything, but like, the podcast goes up and they just keep... I would fuck with seeing him live.
Yeah, I would too. Like, I would want to see all the legends
all
live.
the goats. Like,
even if I don't find you completely funny on Netflix, like, I could imagine if I'm actually there and I feel that energy, it'd be a little different. Yeah, that's once COVID gets up, I'm literally
we gotta go see
down
a bunch of people,
just
some goats,
fucking everywhere. Even if it's like, yo, New York City, we gotta pull up for a week, get a fucking hotel room.
We should go to all
the
grimy spots.
Fuck yeah, just go
rooms.
see where they're at.
Get grinded up.
Oh fuck yeah! We almost got grinded the fuck up by Icon. She thought about it for a second.
Weird, I had to look the other way.
Yeah, I was like, all right, yo, he was tripping.
I was like, yeah, laugh at him.
Yeah, so I was cool with it. I'm like, yo, I literally looked at him like, yo, Icon, just get me, bro. You cool dude though. So I think it's all about Netflix and Dave. Shout out to Dave. Shout out Netflix too. I might have just gave like a backhanded compliment earlier, but like that's super dope of them. They definitely deserve a little bit of credit there. Here, let's get into the Spotify shit. So today is the dreaded day of the wrap-ups launching on Spotify, where your social media accounts have been nothing but Spotify wrap-ups and all the music that you don't give a fuck about anyone else, but for some reason you'll click through them all and everyone will look at them, and you'll be like, wow, that person listened to 60,000 minutes of music. Oh my God, that person listened to 20,000 hours of podcasting. What are we going to do? And then by tomorrow, you're not going to remember anyone's favorite things.
And everyone deletes everything.
Everyone deletes everything. Cool. But it is brilliant on Spotify's part. Like, it literally is a day now.
Definitely.
Where, I know you're not on socials that often, but
I remember it.
Going on Instagram today, if you just go on your story, you just click through.
Everyone.
It's either a Spotify one or Apple, but Apple bit off of them, so whatever. But
that's how he said, but Apple bit off them.
Oh, love of a bar there. Apple bit off. Ooh. Some Adam and Eve bars. Speaking of that, Adam and Eve sponsor us. Yeah, nasty.
I'm trying to get the Blue Chew.
That's a wombo combo right there is what they call that. Adam and Eve and Blue Chew. But no, like, you go through and it literally just says, like, everyone's favorite artist. It's like fucking Young Thug, Drake, and fucking Pop Smoke are all on the top. But it's not necessarily that I give a shit about anyone's. I thought it was cool to see a bunch of people send us our podcast was in their top 3 podcasts listened to.
Gang shit.
That was some freaking hard shit. Shout out to all y'all. That was really cool. We gotta get our own asshole army.
Word.
The nostalgic types. They're the nostalgic. Yeah, the typees. Type cat.
We'll work on it.
We'll work on it. Well, this is free throwing. Y'all seeing BTS right now. Behind the scenes, we're out here. Rory had the funniest fucking joke on the podcast. They said behind the scenes, and you know how he gets his under the breath jokes.
Yeah.
And he's like, I love behind the scenes, and I cracked the fuck up for like 30 seconds because I had the same exact thought. I'm like, behind the scenes is kind of fire when you really think about it. Like, those would be the best videos, but nah. Anyway, Spotify wrapped up. So yeah, I mean, it's literally free marketing. Like, they know that we want to share our eclectic. Oh, I got an artist that no one really fucks with, but he's in my top 5. Oh, I listen to podcasting. I'm cool. And they know we want to share it.
Right.
Literally, there's a big ass button at the bottom, like, "Yo, share this shit. Share this shit." And
that's cool.
It's like, and what they did was they almost had their own story on their Instagram. It's like there's like 9 different tabs. It's like your most listened to artist, your most listened to genre. Your most listened to songs. If you were a trailblazer on one where you got in on the first 50,000 listens of a song that then went to like pop, all that shit. You can share all of this. And so if you go on right now on your fleets, shout out to Twitter with their fleets. You don't know that shit. They have their own stories now. Damn, you're out of it, bro.
Twitter has stories?
Yeah, it's kind of lit. I be fleeting.
You put the
I fleet my shit out.
The Spotify breakdown.
Oh
on
no!
The
oh no! I put when people sent them our shit though.
Hey.
Flex my
That's
shit
marketing.
up. Flex my shit up. What's good?
That's a fleet.
That's a fleet now here. But man, I had the thought today after I got a little annoyed of seeing like the first 75. I'm like, this is so brilliant. I saw Spotify's logo all day.
Here's why it's genius, right? Because it's just today. Tomorrow we forget about it, and we don't think about it all year.
But remember it.
So
like,
a year
away.
from now, when it happens, you're like, oh shit. Like, no one's like listening to music like, oh, I need to make sure I got more minutes in this category. Like, no one's doing that.
You remember that for like the first week, and then it goes by.
Right.
And you're
then,
like, fuck.
After that, it's just like, next year comes around.
Fuck,
like,
everyone knows I listen to Little Bunny for fucking 1,000 hours. Fuck. And it's cool, too. If you're like a super fan of one, they'll be like, you're in the top 0.05% of this person's listeners. And it's like,
damn,
it's like a bunch of shit you can
I want to see it. I want to see you break it down for me.
You could name it right now. You know my fucking top 5.
It's probably all the same people.
Yeah, it's the same fucking shit.
Black Thought,
Russ, Drake,
Hove.
Yeah. Done. Fuck. And then my podcasting, Joe.
The J verse I listened to on the way here was the
That should be a segment on our podcast.
the J verses.
The J verse I listened to.
Was the Jeezy and Andre one. That was tough.
That was tough. Man.
He irved.
Man. He did.
He said, I do. No, that was crazy.
I do. Yeah, man. But it's so brilliant because it like creates a community a little bit for a couple minutes. Like, everyone is sharing their stuff. The artists share theirs. Like,
I think that's cool.
People showing their stats, like, it's a flex. Like,
it is a flex.
Granted, some can have streaming farms, but like, you can't really stream farm your way to 1 billion. It's pretty fucking hard. There's a bunch of shit, and I think it's just so brilliant that they like etched out their day in the world. Every December, first week of December, it's like, yep, you're getting this, and everyone gets to see who's everyone listening to. Now, I don't know if it leads to any artists interaction. Like, I don't know if anyone goes listens because, wow, Drake's number 2 on everyone. I gotta go listen to more Drake.
Yeah. That was my point in the fact that like by tomorrow it's gone. Just because like it doesn't like it's not like a community thing. Like you don't start sharing playlists and
no. But I think they could body that though.
Right. They could make it more like I remember early in Apple Music, like 2017, like everyone's following each other, adding each other's playlists and all that. But it seems like that's
I think they tried to do that, and I don't think people were really fucking with it at the point. I think what sucks is we have group chats. So anyone you really want to share your playlist with, you kind of just send the music into the group chat.
You don't need like the app.
No. They could probably integrate something in there to make it more, like, I don't know.
Like a notification. Like almost, Kyle listened to this track today.
Yeah, or like a points thing where it's like, I listened to your playlist for an hour today. Ooh, Dylan got some points up. And you can see like a ranking system and type of shit like that. Some curator fucking points.
They could freak it.
Curator coins. Ooh, got them.
Here's why Spotify bodied it to me, because they've innovated it. Like, Apple's been the same breakdown every year. Like, it looks the same.
List.
The AI, the interface looks the same. It's a list.
Stupid.
It doesn't take you anything. It just takes it out.
No graphics to it.
It's
for graphics, for Apple being so fucking creative and everything else, their graphics always look so plain Jane.
Plain Jane.
I get that.
And the copy paste, it's like crazy. Like they're on the whole like if it ain't broke type phase, but
they're not wrong.
It's the same shit as last year.
$2 trillion company.
And it's cap. For real. I was looking at it. I was like, I don't know. That might be gassed. Like the Apple numbers look a little sus.
Oh no, I know. I listened to 60,000 minutes of Spotify.
See, like they got you guys down to the minutes. We're down to like album plays.
Oh,
like it's like you. I think it said like I listened to Russ for like 6 hours this year, and I was like, I definitely listened to more Russ than 6 hours. But I think it's only counting music released this year.
Gotcha.
Which was a little odd.
Really?
Like, that doesn't really count all the music I listened to.
Right, because his album is 40 minutes right there. You know what I mean? Like, I'm sure you ran it like 3 times, and then I'm sure you
his album and the tape together
is an hour. And you definitely ran that.
Definitely ran it 6 times.
And then other songs he's released too.
So it might be a low cap.
That's weird. Yeah, I hope they don't underestimate how much I listen to Russ this year.
No, your shit is spot on.
My shit is spot the fuck on. But I think it's so brilliant, and I think it's such a simple thing that they did that for a whole day, it's like there's just eyes on their platform.
Word.
I don't know if it works. I don't know, but stuff like that, they could build on that type of stuff.
Free marketing, for real.
That's really, that's what it. At the end of the day, I think that's why I'm so impressed with it. Is like they figured out a way for us just to share one thing.
Yeah, every year.
Like, hey, go share everyone what you're listening to. And I
realized,
FOMO. And that's
what I
was just about to say. I'm like, oh, people got their shit up. Nah, watch this. Right. Watch this one person that y'all don't know about that I've been listening to. My shit's mad regular. Like, mad regular.
Or someone who's like, oh, this shit is cool. Watch my shit next year. Now I'm joining Spotify.
Yeah. So, I wonder how many people are doing that. Because I think we're so entrenched with, like, how should I say it? Brand loyalty, I guess. Like, we're so used to it. Like, but I also had the thought, too, like, why wouldn't Game Pass, Xbox, do this? Have their year-end wrap-up at this point. Like, you played Master Chief Collection for 150 hours.
Right.
I think they could do it. I think Netflix could do it, too. Like, share that.
That's why it's getting bodied.
I mean, I think when we're getting to the streaming platforms where everyone starts at an even playing field, like everyone has access to everything, where are your friends allocating their free resources? I think it could be a cool thing. I think that
that's competition.
You could almost have like awards off of it. like literally most listened to thing. Like I know it sounds as stupid as the Billboard Awards, but like the Spotify Awards, like the best new artist, like the artist with
you it's all based off strictly the streams.
Yeah, just to see what it is. Now, obviously, then you'll have the argument where it's like, oh, streams, stream farms, all that shit. But at least it'd be a cool thing just to give people things in their hats. Drake would run away with it every fucking year.
Facts. Because it's not like pre-COVID he wasn't invested in music. I'm not saying he's not invested in music, but like,
but nobody is.
He was touring.
Nobody is
more than anybody last
Cole
year.
said we were getting an election day album. Trump has pulled this shit out for 2 months now, and we still haven't gotten the Cole thing.
And he dropped kicks. He's dropping kicks instead of music.
Fuck out of here, Jermaine. Fucking Trump. That's what Trump is doing. He's waiting for Jermaine to drop. He's like, I gotta just keep pushing this election by as quick as I can because Cole's dropping.
Cole's about to drop.
Trump is doing you a favor, bro, and Cole just isn't dropping shit. Not a leak. Fucking JID hasn't said, I'm on that shit. Because JID definitely going to say, the second he knows he's on it, I'm on that album.
On release day. Like when they say album, because you know it's going to be Wednesday. Album Friday, Cole's going to tweet it. And then JID's going to tweet, I'm on that bitch.
Nah, he's going to do the bundle shit. Buy one of my shoes, you get an album. Bodied.
He's going to drop the shoes. And in the box that it comes in is going to be a physical.
The only reason why I'd buy a Puma is to get the physical. Jermaine called my buying no
a surprise
Puma.
Physical in the Puma kicks.
Ew. Not even in a disc, bro. Just in one of the sleeves. Like, here. Like it's your fucking demo.
That's
fucking
shit.
Jermaine. Just drop your shit, bro. Like, we know it's there. It's in the tuck. It's been there.
The fall off.
Yeah.
He took it personal.
No shit. Yo, you're stupid, yo. You can make those jokes because you're a stan. I can't. All right, cool. So wrapped up Spotify being brilliant. Still screw them, but I still use them. Sorry. Your interface is so good. All right, bro. Let's get into a little bit of a geek shit. Fortnite with the subscription bag. So you have no idea about this.
No. None.
So Epic being Epic. And being
I
brilliant.
imagine that it's some money shit.
Brilliant. It's actually pretty consumer friendly if you play Fortnite.
Okay.
To an extent. Here, we'll break it down a little bit.
So Fortnite's been a free game because it was technically
it's just free
a beta,
to play.
or it's just free to game?
No, it's just free to play. No, here's the thing. Subscription isn't giving you access to the game. It's just additional things that come with it. The game is still free to play completely.
So like Game Pass.
It's more like a battle pass that you pay for every month. And but you get constant things. So here's what it is. It's called Fortnite Crew. You're part of the Fortnite Crew, blah, blah, blah. It is, I think, $10.99 a month. Do you see a price there anywhere? 11. It's $11 a month? All right,
$11.99.
Cool. Okay. So basically what you get is you get the Battle Pass, right? So you get the Battle Pass for free. So that's $10 right there. Granted, Battle Pass doesn't drop every month. It's like every 3 months, but you get the joint. You get 1,000 V-Bucks. So that's about $10. So you're basically getting your value for the thing right there. And then they're also going to start giving you free crew packs. And they have a bunch of frequently asked questions. You get certain access to things. It's just going over the kind of ins and outs. I think this is absolutely brilliant. I think Fortnite...
because kids have been spending money. Been spent $100.
I think Fortnite assures themselves that kind of like Netflix, where if you have a Netflix subscription, you feel bad not using it for a month, right? So if you're subscribed to Fortnite, you almost feel obligated to then go play Fortnite.
To go play.
You're going to get all this free shit. Let me go see what my free drop is this month of the skins. And it's a constant revenue stream for Epic for a game that, not that it's dying at all. It's never going to die. But it's not at the peak that it was 2 years ago.
I'd say like income-wise, they were probably making more bread then, like off of microtransactions. So now it's like,
yeah.
Let's say they even started to fall off a little bit. Now this...
Well, this is technically a microtransaction too, but this is a consistent one. I'm getting $11 from these kids every month. And we're giving them enough value that is worth it. Like, if you're a Fortnite player...
Yeah.
Right?
Break it down, that's $120 a year.
Yeah,
Fortnite players that buy this shit are spending around $120.
Just for Battle Pass, it's $40 a year. Because I think there's 4 Battle Pass a year, so it's $40. You get the Battle Pass for free. And to your point, if you want to get one skin a month, that's $10 right there. Mm-hmm. you're better off right there just buying that, and you get skins with it, and you get 1,000 V-Bucks. Like, there is value in it. They're not chipping you. This isn't a way for them to just get an extra $1 off you.
Right.
So I
They're
think
just
that's
getting
cool.
the $1 from you differently.
Now, obviously, we're not having this talk because it's Fortnite. Fuck Fortnite. Who gives a shit about Fortnite? But they're in that class where kind of what they do trickles down to other games.
Mm-hmm.
And up until now, really the only game that is still subscription-based to get into the game is World of Warcraft.
Mm-hmm.
I still pay $15 a month. By the way, new Shadowlands expansion came out. I've never played this much. I shouldn't say that. I haven't played this much WoW in the first week of an expansion dropping since Wrath of the Lich King, which was the second expansion ever. And that's when I first got the game.
Damn.
I literally been coming home from work, coming home from doing whatever. Clocking. I think I have a day playtime already. And it's been a week and like 2 days. It's been fucking rough, bro. I have a problem. But
that's that $15 value.
It's the $15 value. You gotta get your shit out. You know what I'm saying? I gotta play.
Word up.
Taking punt money out of my hands. I think other free to play games could do this for sure. Now, granted, Fortnite has a bigger player base than all of them, even coming off their shit.
Yeah, true.
But battle passes, at the end of the day, are meant to be subscriptions disguised as progression bars, right? Like every 3 months, we want to get your $10. We figured that's $30 a year. That's good enough for us to run this game, right? Now, if we can get $11 out of you, I think $10 is probably the perfect amount. I don't know why they stuck at 11, but they got guys crunching numbers at the end of the day. $10 for a similar thing in like Apex. Let's say you get whatever 30 Apex packs, the battle passes, and all that, and you get all the new skins. And the fact that they're going to be exclusive skins to the subscription, you're going to get so many kids getting the subscription just because they don't want to not have those skins.
Yeah, that's bodied. We'll definitely see games follow suit.
And I have no problem with
100%.
I have no problem with this.
Because it doesn't affect the game.
It's free to play, bro.
Right.
Get on. This is how they make their money, man.
So there's no sense getting tight about it. Like, oh, why would they?
There's obviously people going to get tight about it.
But, like, it doesn't affect them, so, like, it shouldn't. So I think that's cool because then we'll see a lot more free-to-play games, which is the wave in general right now.
And at the end of the day, realistically, if you like the game that's going out for, let's say Overwatch went to a subscription method, and that's how they're going to do their microtransaction. Now, fuck loot boxes. $10 a month, you get all the microtransactions, whatever. You get the battle pass that they brought out. With that new money they get, guess what corporate America will do? They're making more money off that IP. That means they're going to delve more time and effort into that IP. That means you get more content for it. That means your game becomes more fun, and obviously in a perfect world. Now, obviously, sometimes it doesn't happen, but what if your game makes no money? What if Apex can't figure out a way to monetize their player base? Well, then the game goes away.
Word.
So I think this is a thing that you're going to see a lot more of.
Because this is almost like crowdfunding. Like, every month they'll be getting a subscription check. Talking about the game developers. Where, like, let's say the game isn't at its top tier shelf that it could be, but if you had X amount more bread every month.
Yeah.
That's
cool. I think,
shit.
too, it's just going to be... It's also a thing, too, Epic's going to probably go public here in the next 4 years, 3 years, whenever. If they have something to show their shareholders, we have 1 million people subscribed, and I think that's low. I think you're going to see a lot more people, especially since it's a free-to-play game. WoW, you have to get people to subscribe and then play. It's reverse. You're getting people to play, then subscribe. I think it's going to be, if they can get...
How many subscribers, like, right now does WoW have?
If I had to predict, probably like 7 or 8 million. At their peak, it was like 13. During Wrath of the Lich King, it was like 13.
Okay, they can do 1 mil.
Yeah, I think they can do probably 6 or 7.
Oh, my goodness.
Because there's still probably, 40 million, 50 million people playing that shit.
So much
and
money.
I think if they get a 15% conversion, I think
we gotta make a video game.
That's what hedge fund people... That's all mobile games are, is hedge fund guys saying we need to make a game.
Word. We need to make a game, make money from
it. It literally prints money, bro. We don't develop anything for it. No, so I mean, I think it's brilliant. I think it's going to allow companies to not only better money for all their shit, I think it's just going to give people more value. Because I think for kids, too, it might be a thing for the parents, too. no, I don't want you paying that game. You spend all your money on skins. You spend all my money. The kid can then go say, Mom, it's only $11 a month. I know only whatever. People got, it's hard times, it's pandemic and everything. But for my kid that's probably spending $30, $40 a month on their skins, if the parents can see, oh, you get all this shit for $11 a month, you don't have to charge my card $40 every month.
Like
cool.
The parents probably spent all that bread that year anyway.
Right. So it's like, it's going to be a thing to control themselves too. And to get 1,000 V-Bucks a month, that's a skin a month right there.
Word.
Skin every 2 months. So a free skin every 2 months, plus the packs they're giving out, plus the battle passes.
2,000 V-Bucks?
Some of them. I think the epic ones are like 2. Yeah. I think you can get like skin packs where it has like the bat bling and all that shit for like $40. So like it's bread.
Damn.
But
they're bro, killing
the
it
shit
over there.
The skins they just put in, they just put the Mandalorian skin in. They just got done doing all their Marvel skins. They just are about to put in Kratos from God of War in the game. Like, they're doing skins, bro.
They're getting the bag.
Fortnite, for whatever we talk about the game, how they build a community and how they give their players content is the best in the game.
Yeah, so they just had that new event.
Yeah, the event was crazy.
So this coming on the tail end of that event is perfect timing. That's a rollout.
Yeah.
That's a rollout.
Yeah. Epic is brilliant at their shit, man. It's not going to get me to play again. I just don't like the actual game, but to each their own. It's the most popular game in the world. Still probably, if not the second most.
Still popping. That was our shit for a little. That was
I was bro, I did play this shit for like a year and a half. Like,
that was our vibe.
I was with it.
We were compy.
My man Dale still plays it. I don't know how. Super Smash Bros. What's the news there?
So Nintendo's been wilding with the Smash community.
I remember that. Yeah, we actually had a meeting about this with our Philly esports.
Oh, word? No shit.
But go ahead. It's a big game.
Damn, that's cool.
Well, could fuck us up. So.
Oh wow. Okay, that gets fried. So I was expecting you not to have any info. So basically, the way I heard about this was from the Twitch streamer Ludwig. I don't know if you know who that is. Mm-hmm. Ludwig. Mm-hmm. He's popping.
Remember Ludwig from lacrosse?
Yeah. It's a way better Ludwig. I'm sorry, Thomas.
He's not listening. Don't worry. Definitely not listening. He bullied that kid.
He lives in my neighborhood too. That's fucked up.
You always fuck over your set?
That's fucked up.
Damn.
That's fucked up.
Go ahead.
So he put out the video that, okay, long story short, Smash tournament every year. There's maybe like, I don't know, 3 or 4 big ones.
And then Philly esports shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So big ones, and then like the smaller venues.
Yeah. Well, y'all can come get that work though. $5.
So yeah, you have these like huge Smash tournaments every year.
Yeah.
And Melee being like the cult classic that it is, still has big turnouts for those events,
which is so fun.
And being how old the game is, it's only LAN.
Yeah.
So it being COVID. Shit's wildin'.
Yeah.
So they were like, yeah, none of that this year. So this guy Fizzy, developed a code for the game to be ported to be able to be played online.
Correct.
So, and he spent like 2 months doing it, like 2 months of COVID doing it.
Yeah.
And they were going to have it for Dreamhouse?
Yeah, I think so.
Dreamhouse.
Like that, yeah.
Like a big event coming up. And Nintendo hit him with the cease and desist.
Yeah.
And said, no, we're not letting that fly.
Nintendo does this a lot with their community shit.
Which is crazy because they already paid them the bread. Like, already had the bread. Like, we're going to use your game for this event. But just because they put it online, Nintendo was like, no. We're not rocking with that.
Yeah.
Deal's off.
Yeah. Well, see, Nintendo's so finicky with all that shit, too. Like, you have to get so many, like, clearances sometimes if you want to even post, like, a YouTube video about their shit. It's real wary if you want to run, like, a Smash tournament. Like, you have to, like, almost, like, say you're not getting paid to play the game. You're getting paid for winning a competition. Like, it's really weird shit.
Yeah, I know that there was a time in like when I was getting huge into the scene, there was a time in like 2016 where like a lot of Smash YouTubers were getting taken down because of like copyright shit.
Yeah.
And like by Nintendo's company.
Yeah. It's weird. I think Nintendo, not to make this political or like weird or anything. I mean, being a Japanese company, they might not have the same values or the same understanding of how all this works as an
Some
American
online shit.
Right, an American shit where it's like, no, we're literally like marketing your thing for us by playing our game, your game on here. Like, because we play it, more people want to play it, and then they'll go buy it. Like, we're not giving the game for free. I know a lot of people are also like, I think with The Last of Us, I don't want to quote this, it was a recent game that was a single player game that they were urging the streamers not to stream the game to the public, like the ending of the game, because they didn't want to ruin it for everyone, and then people not go buy it and play it, because they figured if everyone went to watch how it actually went, they wouldn't play it. Right, so it's like a bunch of weird shit with that. So I can understand almost why single player games wouldn't want that to happen, but like games like World of Warcraft, online games,
right? Especially like new games.
Yeah, like.
But like if we're talking about games from last decade,
like who gives a fuck?
Right.
Like, you're not making any money off Smash Melee anyway. You literally aren't selling the game. You're selling...
And, the only way they're making the bread off of the game are these tournaments. They have, like some of them, like, the big tournaments, Nintendo charges, like, $50K for their game to be there.
Yeah, that's why it's weird. We gotta be careful because, we don't know whenever Nintendo decides just to be assholes and say, you can't have a $400 tournament.
Crazy
online for our game, like it's our game, and any of them can say it. It's just other game people are like, yeah, they're gonna play it. Who gives a fuck? Like that's what made Halo such the big icon it was in the early 2000s. Is that was like one of the first LAN tournaments that was going on, and that's why it popped. And then Halo 2 comes and they're like, oh, that shit we see on TV doing LAN tournaments you can play online. What the fuck? Let's go. So it's weird. It's
it's kind of grimy.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm a Nintendo stan just because of how they...
I know that it's all flowers here for Nintendo at the Nostalgia
But when they do fuck up, we got to talk about it.
Yeah, it just seems like the whole community... Could have gave me a warning
before I wore this Nintendo shirt today, man.
I told you it was smoke. I told you I was coming with smoke.
Yeah, we said that a week ago, though. I forgot the smoke was still... I thought it dissipated. I thought the smoke cleared up. Nah, we hotboxed that shit.
Because since then, Ludwig was like, yo, I'm going to throw my own tournament. And then Nintendo was like,
no, you're not, dickhead. Yeah, what tournament?
So then
FIFA?
He came out and was like, they said nah.
Yeah. They got billions. I got okay.
They were like, he was like, I was going to do it for free. They still said nah. They were like, no, Ludwig.
It's crazy though, right? Like that's going to be a transition where gamers start getting, we always talk about this, but gamers are going to have consumer power over these games. Like, Fall Guys was only great for money-wise because streamers were playing it. You know, Among Us was a 2-year-old game, but because a couple streamers picked it up, you know, these big-time people with these big-time fan bases and communities that they built, they have a lot of power. And I won't be surprised if you will eventually see a streamer that has a pretty decent following that maybe isn't the AAA streamer, I guess we'll say, like the big time names, but let's say they have a good enough following, if they get sponsored solely by like a publisher, like Ubisoft comes out and say, yo, like you play any game, like a Lyric type thing, who plays any game, right, and people will watch him play any game. Like, hey, you only play our games now. I think you'd be stupid as a streamer to do that because what if the next Fortnite comes out? You can't go play Fortnite. Like,
right.
But I could see
we could definitely see that.
I mean, you're already seeing it in smaller doses where it's like COD will be partners with all the big time streamers. Go play our shit.
Go play our shit release week.
Yeah, and we'll pay you this X amount. But I could see a publisher giving a dumb bag to a streamer to say don't play anything but our shit. And a streamer might not be stupid. If it's like a $20 million bag to play nothing but our games for a whole year,
they would probably take it
because they're giving out a crazy bag for a week. Like I think Ninja was saying, like he was getting offers up to like $500,000 to play his game for like 2 days a game. It's like ridiculous. Now, granted, this one Ninja had like 60K people watching him and everything, and all that shit. But $500,000 for 2 days of work, times that by 150. What are we looking at?
A bag.
A stupid bag.
Yeah.
Granted, they're not going to do that. They can't delve out $75 million for a whole year. But I think companies that don't see the value in that will have to then reallocate resources to then see that value at some point. Nintendo,
like the value in their streamers,
yeah,
and the community, really,
yeah, because now we consume games for completely different reasons. We used to because IGN gave it a 10 out of 10. We go buy a game. Now it's because Jack, Courage is playing it. I'm gonna go play it.
How sick would that have been if like the next big Smash tournament is like, you don't know the scene, but like all the legends come back and it's all on Twitch, streamed on Twitch. Everyone's online, like remote with it.
But here's the problem though. Nintendo almost has like a little bit of the Sony effect where we're so popping without it. Let's not even do it.
That's braggadocious.
Yeah, it's almost like we don't need it. And at the end of the day, Nintendo has carved out their own lane so much that no one's trying to get into. That's like, yeah, I guess you don't really need it, but guess how much of a buzz you would have if, to your point, the biggest realistically, Smash should be the biggest fighting game in the world.
Should be, definitely.
Like in esports, but it's just not. Like,
and you think that's because of Nintendo?
I think it's their reluctance to make it a full-blown thing. Yeah, I mean, I don't necessarily think that like Mortal Kombat or Street Fighter are the biggest because of the support they get from their publishers, but I think if Nintendo wanted to make it the biggest esport in the world, they could.
Yeah, Love was saying in his video that Street Fighter will charge half of what Smash is charging for Melee. Like,
right.
Crazy.
Because they realize that what we get in the back end from this. Like, you gotta think about, bro, League of Legends, when they have 300,000 people watching their shit on Twitch for a tournament, let's just put the number super low. There's 5,000 people going to download that game for the first time.
Right.
And out of that 5,000, you're probably going to get a couple bucks out of that. Plus sponsorships, plus everything else. Like, eventually.
All for no cost.
Yeah, like, you don't gotta run it, bro.
No.
So, yeah, it's something that, like, even us as Philly Esports, like, we take into account. Like,
oh, yeah, so hit me to how you guys...
It wasn't really that big of a
like, were you guys going to throw something?
It was just, it was literally just, a statement we made. Like, hey, we just got to make sure, like, we're being careful with everything we do. And if anyone gets contacted or anything, just let us know and we'll figure it out. It wasn't, like, a big thing.
They were like, yo, if Nintendo slides under DMs, let me know.
Like, Blizzard was like this for a little bit, too, where, like, they're really finicky about their tournaments. But they kind of leaned up on it this past couple years. But like we're doing a Hearthstone tournament this month, and it used to be the thing where you had to like get clearance to use it, and now it's kind of just like you just can play it. Nice. But like we had that understanding, they were like, yeah, it used to
like
be
they could have said no, like Nintendo did.
Yeah. So, but you know what though, like games like Rocket League have thrived off the content creating esports scene. Like I don't think any game thrives off the esports scene more than Rocket League, because not too many content creators making it, but it's a game meant for esports,
right? For competitive play.
So like, I get it. It'll come, but like, there's gonna be a sway here soon of people realizing like, yo, like our livelihood comes down to if people are playing it and people are watching it or not. Like obviously, you'll have people still playing the next God of War. But if you're a multiplayer game, man, like if people aren't streaming your shit might as well be dead. And that's sad to say, but like those couple thousand people that are going to play your shit have a lot.
Oh, it's so crazy to just hear Nintendo be like, fuck it, might as well be dead.
But no, I don't think they're saying that. I don't think they have that realization. I think they say our model works. Why fuck it up?
You think? I don't know. That sounds like a little detached.
Well, that's why I said the thing earlier about the whole Japanese company. I'm not saying they're detached, but a company that has not brought out a new IP in a couple decades, since Pikmin, basically.
And none of that back catalog has ever been available anywhere else. Like it's all...
What I'm saying is like they just regurgitate the same IPs and just give it new ideas. It's not necessarily bringing out new games. Like if you name the biggest games right now in their catalog, Mario, Zelda, Metroid, Kirby, it's the same ones that they were 20 years ago. Mario, Metroid, Kirby, Zelda. Like, you know what I mean? Like they don't, they kind of just stick with what they know and they keep doing it. They reinvent how they make games is crazy. but we're having a different conversation here. It's like your philosophy behind the community. And their thought process is we have Mario, Zelda, Metroid. They're not going to go anywhere else for any of that. So
and that's their thought process between no Smash Online.
I think
for that, it's a case of the fact that they didn't make it.
And maybe they don't
their project.
And maybe they want such control over everything that it's not worth their time to have that much control, because at the end of the day, they don't have enough people to.
And that's that. It's
run.
Better off dead shit. Like, that's crazy. Because, like, for a game that's not making any money besides the $100,000 a year from tournaments.
Right. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what the philosophy behind it is. I'd like to hear it. I mean, I haven't really gotten a reasoning. I think it's just kind of like our lawyers kind of handle it. But then obviously it's enforced only because they wanted to. Like,
right.
Their lawyers wouldn't move out of touch with
without them saying that they wanted to.
So, I don't know. Shout out
That's
Nintendo,
all
though.
Smoke I had.
Yeah,
Shout
good
out
for
to
them.
Nintendo. Free Smash.
Anything else you got to talk about in the weekday? I think we're pretty good.
Yeah.
We talked about, what do we get? We get down our list. Let's see. We talked about Chappelle. We talked about Spotify. Talked about Fortnite. Shout out Epic. Hey, we're getting double Epic talk today since we're doing
we're gonna take it back
Unreal
from this super successful Epic to
decently successful.
Still much less successful.
All right, that's like saying, yeah, we talked about Hove for a couple hours. Let's talk about a less successful artist than Dave East. It's like, yeah, he's still pretty successful. It's just not Hove. I don't think we got anything else to talk about. Anything?
No.
All right. Thank you guys for watching this episode of the Weekday Wonders. Make sure to follow us on all social medias. Make sure to share the episodes. And we will catch you guys on Tuesday for the breakdown.